Hey everyone, alright, I want to show you how to plant a lotus. It's lotus season, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be planting the tubers of the lotus. You want to do this early, maybe January, February months. You want to do it early so you have some time for them to be able to grow and start looking good for spring and summer. And what we want to do is we want to pick a certain size pot for the tubers that you have. So every tuber is going to be a little different. So what we're going to do is, if it's a really small tuber, you can definitely do a smaller pot. This would probably be just fine for something like that. I like to go a little larger, maybe a 3-gallon. This was a 2-gallon here. This is a 3-gallon pot. 2-gallon pot's going to give you a little bit more room for the lotus to grow, and it's going to continue to wrap around this pot. And obviously the more room it has, the more it's going to want to grow, bloom, and produce a lot of leaves for you. So what we're going to do is start off with a soil. You've got to find a good soil for lotus. Lotus are real finicky, and what you want to do is find a nice clean soil. I use a heavy clay soil. Heavy clay soil is what the lotus love. So if you grab the soil and kind of squeeze it, if it sticks together, there's a lot of clay in it. That's what you want. You want a nice heavy clay soil for the lotus. The other thing you want to do is make sure the soil is clean. So you don't want a lot of gravel in it. You don't want a lot of big chunks of hard clay in there. So either sift it out or just take all the rocks and everything out of your hands with your hands, but just a nice clean soil is what you want. So we're going to start with this 3-gallon pot. I'm going to use one without holes in it, and the reason is a lot of people like to take lotus and they put them on their doorsteps or next to just on the patio or a balcony or something, and you want to hold water because lotus always need to have water in it. So if you have a pond, no problem. If there's holes in the bottom, go ahead and set it onto your shelf in a pond. Lotus don't like a lot of deep water. Don't go 2 or 3 feet deep. Basically, I always tell people 4-finger rule, as you want the water no higher than 4 fingers over the top of the pot. So whatever size pot you have, only 4 fingers of water over the top of that pot. And that'd be perfect for lotus. Okay. So what we're going to do is we want to maybe add about fill the pot about halfway up with soil. Okay, so let's try to do that. And again, just a nice clean soil. That's what you want. Set about halfway up here. Okay. And you do want to use a fertilizer. Just go ahead and find a good aquatic fertilizer. Most aquatic fertilizers will take care of most of our aquatic plants for you. It's safe for your fish, things like that. A lot of the aquatic fertilizers do come in tablets, so go ahead and put 1 tablet per gallon. So if it's a 3-gallon, put 3 tablets. 2-gallon, put 2 tablets. 1 gallon, put 1 tablet. I have a granule, but it all works the same. And you want to kind of mix it in. If you have a granule, mix it in. If I have a tablet, put them about halfway down into the soil, and then cover them up. Okay. All right, so next what we want to do is we never want to plant the lotus in dry soil. They don't like it. You'll lose a lot of them doing it that way. So we always want to add water to the pot before planting them. Okay, so let's add some water to it. Just gently kind of just pour the water into the pot. Obviously some of the dirt's gonna get fluffed up and make mud here and make it all dirty, but that's okay. Just gonna let it fill up. And again, what we're gonna want to do is just let this soil soak in. And if you got time to let it sit overnight, great. If you don't, that's okay. You can do it the same day. And you might have to add more as it soaks in. Okay. All right, we're gonna let that soak in, and then I'll show you how to plant the lotus as soon as this is ready. All right, so we're gonna pick out a few tubers for planting, and I've got a couple smaller tubers here. And if it's a real large tuber, just use one tuber. If there's little like this, you can get them in there without being too crowded. Go ahead and you can put multiples. That's okay. What we want to do is be very careful with all these little eyelets where all the new leaves are starting to come up. You break that off, it's dead. It's not going to grow, so be real careful. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our soil that's already been prepped. It's soaked, it's nice and wet, and all we're going to do is gently take the tuber, and we don't want to completely cover the baby leaves under the soil, but we definitely want to cover the tuber all here in the soil itself, but we want the baby leaves to kind of stick out of the dirt. So I don't know if the camera's going to get this for you, but I'm going to do just gently set it in place and just kind of rock it back and forth. Let it go down into the clay soil. Just kind of be real gentle with it. It's probably going to go down maybe an inch or two at the very most. And again, just keep the tuber or the leaves sticking up out of the water. Okay. And I've got room for another one here. I'm going to take this one here and kind of put it on the opposite side and set it down. And again, soil to about here. Keep the leaves above the dirt line, but everything else lower. So again, just gently rock it back and forth, get it down to the bottom there. Okay, and that's as simple as that. So, and as soon as you get and put it in, if you want to move it, put it on your deck or something, and then go ahead and fill up the pot with water all the way to the top. If you're going to put it in the pond, again, 4 fingers of water over the top is all you need. Okay, that'll give you a very successful season, and with a lot of flowers and a lot of foliage. And full sun is great. I'm not sure, depending what where you live. Here in California, they love full sun. In the hot summer, June, July, August weather, a little shade is okay because sometimes the leaves can burn. But other than that, they're pretty hardy. And expect them to always go dormant in the winter. Wintertime, they have no leaves, just like this. Springtime, they come up and look great. They're gorgeous. All right, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and please come back and visit us. And thanks for watching. See you when you come in.